Youth and Social Development. In Lagos State, a beacon of hope shines bright, illuminating the path to a brighter future. Through the Ministry of Youth and Social Development, the state government is fostering a more inclusive and prosperous society. Today on Mysd Spectrum, we will be exploring one of the pillars of this vision, of course, and discover how it's transforming lives and communities across the state. Welcome to Mysd Spectrum. My name is Akan Usen. All right, so joining us today on the show are representatives from the Ministry of Youth and Social Development, who, of course, are at the forefront of the state's government efforts to empower and, of course, uplift vulnerable populations. So straight away, I will be welcoming my guests on the show today. Our focus will be on the Rehabilitation Department of the Ministry of Youth and Social Development. Of course, last week we talked with the team from the Adoption and Fostering Unit, if I recall that correctly. And, you know, it was a great time. It was a great time. And today, I'm sure it will not be any different. Do remember, you can be part of the show by connecting via our studio lines, 080-991-20777. And that's also our WhatsApp line. So you can also call, you can also send in a message via WhatsApp. And you can also call 091-538-77127. This show is also live on Facebook. Yes, if you're not driving and you want to get a visual experience, you can actually see our faces and see what's happening right here in the studio. And our page is Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. If YouTube is your channel of choice, you could do Traffic Radio 961. We are live on that channel. So straight away, I will be introducing my guests from the Rehabilitation Department of the Ministry of Youth and Social Development. With us, yes, surrounded by two very powerful men. Yes, we have also equally very, very erudite lady. Yes, Mrs. Mobolaji Oke. She is the Director, HOD Rehabilitation Department. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So it's great to have you. I hope traffic wasn't much of a bother for. Okay. All right. So I was talking about the two very respectable-looking men beside her. Yes, we have Mr. Otunla Tunji, Deputy Director from the Rehabilitation Department. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you on the show. And yes, we have Mr. Kotun Toyin, also a Deputy Director with the Rehabilitation Department. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yes. I hope I got that correctly. You're all from the Rehabilitation Department, yes. Okay, great. So straight away, we are going to the meat of today's matter. Yes, the focus is on the Rehabilitation Department of the Ministry of Youth and Social Development. So there is a word that we'll get to use a lot today. But for the focus, for the purposes of those who perhaps might not, have a proper understanding, I will be throwing this question to you, Mrs. Mobolaji Oke. What is rehabilitation? Let's start from the very nitty-gritty.
Yes, rehabilitation is the restoration of people that have a form of disability.
Okay.
Restoring them into their mental, physical, emotional, psychological well-being. And in our department, we've focused on restoring and reformation of people living with disability, people that have mental challenge, people that have they're into drug abuse, people destitute.
Destitute.
Yes, and also beggars. We restore them into their well-being.
Okay.
Yes, through certain, we have some centers and homes that we use to do this various activities.
All right, so this is the core mandate of the department. Okay,
yes.
again. Okay, so Mr. Kotun Toyin, can you walk us through the rehabilitation process? How, because when I was going through, I saw you had medical intervention, psychological intervention, social intervention, vocational training. That seems like a whole lot, you know? So just walk us through that. How does that?
Rehabilitation is an holistic process.
Yes.
That involve interdisciplinary professionals.
Okay.
Rehabilitation can be in form of detoxification of drug.
Okay.
It can be
that's for the drug addicts.
For the drug addict.
Okay.
It can be in form of treatment of mentally challenged person.
Okay.
Disabled person living with disability.
I'm so sorry to cut you short. Now, so coming back to, you mentioned something about disabled people, but a drug addict, I don't think is that person still under that? Can we term that as?
Yes, drug dependent.
Drug dependent.
Drug dependent.
Okay.
Drug dependent victims,
Okay.
because when they are under that addiction, they are not able to function properly.
Okay, so to say, they are disabled by the drug.
They are vulnerable.
Yes. All right. So sorry about that. Back to you, Mr. Kotun.
So these are, like I said, is an interdisciplinary and disciplinary approach for treatment.
Okay.
So we have the social worker, we have the psychologist, we have the physiotherapist, we have the pharmacist, the psychological, the nurses, and all professionals like that.
Wow.
So that's why it's a teamwork.
Okay.
So adaptation has to be specific depending on the kind of rehabilitation you want to go into.
Okay.
Rehabilitation for a drug dependent is quite different from someone with a mental illness. So that is why you cannot look at rehabilitation as a general process.
It's not one size fits all.
Yes.
Okay.
So it depends on what you want to treat.
Okay.
But the basic bottom line of it is a multi-sectoral approach.
Okay.
And the first stage is the assessment. So the assessment makes you on the category that individual belongs to.
And where you'll be putting the person. Okay. Okay. Oh, great. Okay, so can you just give us a bit of, because I'm curious how, so now you said it's multidisciplinary, so that means people from different yes, so can you just let us in on this? Who are the different people? I'll be asking Mr. Mobolaji Oke. Mr. Otunla Tunji, sorry about that.
No question, sir.
Yes, sir. So you the multidisciplinary approach, so we have different professionals. Can you let's talk about that.
We have a multidisciplinary approach.
Yes.
We have medical personnel.
Okay.
We have social workers.
Meaning you have doctors as part of the. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Psychiatric doctors.
Okay.
We have nurses.
Okay.
That work in collaboration. That work together as a team.
All right.
For the betterment of the rehabilitation in our various centers.
Okay. Which other professionals do you have?
Okay, we have a nutritionist.
Okay.
That will take care of their nutrition. Nutrition.
Okay.
So there are others professionals.
Okay.
That we work together, we collaborate together to make sure that this rehabilitation assess good health.
Okay. All right. So back to you, ma'am. So how do you assess the effectiveness of the process? Now, so when you put this person in, so are there metrics? Are there yardsticks? How do you assess that this process, the rehabilitation process, is effective?
Yes, there's always review.
Okay.
The rehabilitees undergo review periodically.
Okay.
On a weekly basis, depending on the type of case that person has.
Okay.
This consult psychiatrists, they review the cases, the nurses, the social workers.
Okay.
Because they do case conferences.
Okay.
Like case conference on each cases, whereby they kind of review the stage at which a particular rehabilitation is.
Okay.
If it's going to go for a review, if it's going to be discharged.
Okay.
Yes, that review happens all the time, weekly,
okay,
depending on the type of case.
All right.
Yes, that is how we measure it.
Okay.
The consultant psychiatrists, the nurses, the social workers, the clinical psychologists, the pharmacists, because they have to review their drugs as well.
Okay.
Yes, it's a kind of holistic approach to it. Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Kotun Toyin, you mentioned that. Okay, so it was actually you, Mrs. Mobolaji Oke. You mentioned that we have 4 institutions. Yes, four homes.
I didn't mention.
Okay.
I said we have various centers.
Various centers. Okay. But how many are they in Lagos?
We have 5 centers.
5. Okay,
yes.
so I was wrong when I said 4. So they're more than 4. They're 5. Okay, can you let us in on where this?
We have a rehabilitation and training center.
Okay. Okay.
That one is for people with mental challenge.
Okay.
Destitute.
Okay.
And beggars.
All right.
Then we have rehabilitation and vocational training center for drug dependents. That one is in Isheri. That one is for male.
Oh, okay.
It's for male. Then we have Tajuddin Olusi Rehabilitation and Vocational Training Center. That one is in Aja.
Okay.
It's for female drug dependents.
Okay.
Then we have Vocational Rehabilitation Center for persons living with disability. That one is in Ikorodu as well, Urutu. Okay. It's for people that have various type of disability. Then we have the destitute home in Okobaba. It's making 5. Then also we have a program. It's with the Farmcraft, whereby the government sponsors at least 3 visually impaired people every year into vocational training. It's a 1-year program.
Okay.
So by the time they finish, the ministry also empowers them with startup capital.
Wow.
Yes. And also we have the rescue unit.
Rescue unit. Okay, all these are under the purview of the Rehabilitation Department.
Yes.
That's quite a lot. So funding, support, everything is done by the state government?
Yes.
Wow.
Funded by the government.
Amazing. Dear listener, if you have any questions and, if you want to find out anything, this is the time where, of course, we open the phone lines and, would love to hear from you. Is there any question you have, or is there any thing you would love to know about this wonderful department, the Rehabilitation Department right there in the Ministry of Youth and Social Development? Okay, we have a call. Let's see if we can take this right now. Okay, let's see. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Who are we on to?
Yes, you're on to Mr. Yusuf Olamileko.
All right, Mr. Yusuf, welcome. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you. I so much commend the efforts of the government, in bringing up this. But my reservation now is this. Is it only accessible for Lagosians, or is for everybody? That is my question.
All right. Is that all, Mr. Yusuf?
For now, thank you. Let me listen to the program. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf. Okay. So Mr. Yusuf wants to know if it's just for Lagosians. Okay. Maybe where he is, there are a lot of drug addicts around, or maybe destitute, and he's just wants. So who is going to answer this?
It's for Lagosians. People live not in Lagos. Residents in Lagos.
Okay.
Yes.
So if perhaps the person was in Ogun State and somehow maybe a mentally unstable person but was found on the streets of Lagos, does that apply? Will that person be...
Well, as at the time he's found in Lagos. So basically it's a responsibility of Lagos State government. Fortunately,
yes,
most of the rehabilitees or the destitute we pick up from the streets are not even from Lagos.
Interesting.
By the time they are stable, we realize they are from outside Lagos. So that's why the department goes further to work and liaise with other state governments.
Okay.
By having working relationship with them. By the time we were able to stabilize them and they come back to their normal when we resuscitate them, because that's one of our core mandates, reformation and resuscitation. So we try to integrate them back into their family through those liaison offices.
Okay. Interesting. So with the other states, there's some sort of partnership.
Yes, other states and even foreign countries.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so let's talk a bit about success stories. Are there? Yes. I'd love to. So let's just talk about that. Any particular experience of note?
Yes, it's been a very wonderful experience, particularly some of the success stories that we've had. I think recently we've had one or two of our rehabilitees that we were able to resuscitate and they are back in school.
Oh.
Yes, one of them was with us by the time he wrote JAM and he gained admission into School of Oceanography. Yes, and another one graduated from University of Lagos.
Yes.
Okay.
And with the British government, we've been able to integrate some of the citizens through the embassy in Lagos.
Okay.
The same with American government.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting. That's anything to add?
Yes. We have so many.
So many success
We have so
stories.
many. We have so many success stories. Like recently, Lasoda, they had a program, Talent Hunt.
Oh.
Yes. And Vocational Rehabilitation Center for Persons with Disability came first in creativity.
Wow.
Yes, three of the trainees attended the program, and it was a live program whereby they did their graphics, their drawing, and everything there. It wasn't as if they did it in a center and came to display. It was done on site, and they were able to. They came out tops. Because when they say there's ability in disability, it's not just a cliche. It's a truth. Yes, there's nobody is useless. Yes, nobody's and there's so many others like that whenever they're stable, they're able to achieve more. And we even had a wedding.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
Wedding between two trainees. Yes. And right now they even have about 2 kids.
Wow.
Yes, they have about 2 kids. Yes.
Well, that's
The
quite
last jam,
heartwarming.
we
Yes.
had about 2 of our rehabilitees that wrote the last jam and they scored over 200.
Over 200. Wow, that's quite interesting. Okay, dear listeners, even as we go with the success stories, I just want to encourage you, if you want to call in, feel free to call in. You can also send your questions via WhatsApp. That will be amazing. You wanted to say something, sir? Yes.
As regards the drug dependent that are stable, some of them have they are gainfully employed in different vocation established because in our rehabilitation department we do train them on vocation, different vocations.
What kinds?
Tailoring,
okay.
Computer literate.
Oh, okay.
Computer literate, should leather work.
Okay.
And there are so many other vocational trainings.
Depending on what they
have interest in. So some of them they have stable after being stable and being they've been established. They have established themselves.
Yes.
And some of them that are graduated before coming to the center, they've gainfully employed.
Okay. Are there any maybe structures or strategies for follow-up after they're out of these institutions, especially for the drug dependents, who have been rehabilitated? Who do I throw that to? Mr. Kotun.
Yes, there is a unit, human integration.
Okay.
Part of rehabilitation process is integration and evaluation, monitoring. By the time they are through with the rehabilitation process, there is need for us to keep constant tap on them to ensure that they are doing well with whatever they are choosing to be their part in life.
Okay. What's the frequency of keeping tabs on them? How frequent is that?
Like I said, there is a whole department,
an entire department
that is in charge of
Stand alone. Interesting.
So by the time we release, the department is involved before the release. They are part of the release process, so they monitor them, and that's their own basic responsibility to ensure that there is no
relapse, so to say.
Yes, but sometimes we do recall relapse cases which is one of the challenges we are facing.
Okay, so
and also
one of the
another way that
yes.
we keep tabs
for
the at least the drug dependents.
Yes.
They come for review.
Okay.
They come like outpatients. They come as outpatients be released. So the psychiatrist will review them if they need to change their medication or if they need to increase or decrease it and counsel them about the need to stay clean. It's not only for them to come and take medication, it's also for them to have an interaction with them, or the need for them to stay above board, to stay clean away from drugs.
Okay, so someone, person, you didn't give me your name. I would appreciate if you give me your name. The person is saying the scourge of drug abuse is in the state is so much. Well, I would say it's not just Lagos, it's everywhere, but urban areas is so much. So what is the...
It's a mistake if you're pointing to one area. A level of drug intake in rural area is even more than the urban.
Interesting. Is this from statistics?
Research? Yes.
Okay, so okay, this person is talking. So what is the... Well, he's saying what is the government doing to check this? Okay, give me your name, so at least we'll be able to give you a shout out at the end of the show. Okay, so how I know that you'd have to interface with other agencies of government and all that. But how do you
like NDLEA?
Yes,
like NDLEA.
Yes,
and also we do awareness, sensitization on the negative effects of drug abuse. And we have a program called Lascada, Lagos State Kick Against Drug Abuse.
Okay.
Yes, that program is on right now, whereby we sensitize communities on the effects of substance abuse.
Okay.
Yes.
When you say communities, is there some sort of way you interface with maybe the local government, the grassroots?
Yes, we go into the grassroots through the CDA and
CDAs, okay, and CDCs, okay. That's amazing.
And most of our tertiary institutions in the states, Lascada goes in there to do like sensitization often.
Okay.
And there are referral cases from some of these institutions.
Okay.
And also,
okay, Mr. Otunla.
Like you already said that we go to universities.
Yes.
We also go to secondary schools and primary schools to sanitize them to stay off the drug.
Okay.
That's part of the thing that we do in the ministry.
To make sure it doesn't get to
stay off the drug.
Of drugs.
Yes.
And how has now this sensitization? I don't know. Are there some sort of ways? Are there clubs? Are there maybe drug? You're doing campaigns and all that. Are there some when you go, you do the sensitization? Do you create maybe clubs or something there? Or, I don't know. How does that work? You just go there. And
it's the strategy we adopt is not a club based.
Okay.
Like I said, we go into community.
Yes.
We believe every individual live within a family setting.
Okay.
So you carry them through the family unit, through the CDC.
Okay.
So we work in collaboration with the grassroots. We believe so much that within community, if community is identified to be drug rampage, a lot of sometimes I think within the middle of this year, there's a community in Ikorodu.
Yes.
Eyita community. We had to storm the community as a result of report of drug abuse within that community. It was the community leader that informed and
reached out.
Yes. Okay. Because they are aware that's our responsibility and our mandate. So we had to reach out to them. And through most of our youth programs with the youth department, we work with them in sensitizing some of these youth on the effect of staying abstinence from drug.
And also engaging them, by idle hands, the devil's workshop, as I say. So with all these are youth programs, they are now keeping the youths engaged.
Okay.
So that by the time they have something they're doing, they won't even have time
to think about doing drugs.
Yes, drugs.
Okay. Okay, so future plans, initiatives for the Rehabilitation Department. What are we looking forward to in the coming year and the rest of the year? Anything to expect?
Well, because of we're thinking of having a halfway home.
Halfway home. Okay. For those who don't know what that is, what is a halfway home?
Because most of the time when all these rehabilitators are stable and they're ready to go back into the company,
they have nowhere to go to.
They have nowhere to go, and the families don't really want to take them back. Yes,
because of the stigma.
Because of a stigma of what they went through.
Okay.
So if we're trying to at least have something like that, so that when they transit from the main center into that environment, whereby they go out there every day, because when they're in the center, they had a skill. Yes, they'll go there, get a job, have a means of livelihood, get the savings,
so that
integrate them gradually
into that world.
Yes, integrate them gradually into the system when they're economically empowered. So what they get, they can able to be on their own. They don't need to go to the family anymore.
Okay.
So that kind of environment, integrate them slowly and gradually into the society.
Okay.
And that will really go a long way.
Indeed.
Either mentally challenged, destitute, drug dependents, it will really go a long way to make them economically empowered, so they can even contribute their own quota to the GDP of Lagos State.
Indeed. Okay, so now you earlier when we were talking about how you interface with other MDAs, you mentioned La Soda being a success story. Are there because so La Soda, because yes, Lascada and any other
agency like rehabilitation is like a treatment thing.
Yes.
So Ministry of Health, the partner. Ministry of Justice
for the mental health.
For the mental health,
yes.
Not mental health.
Okay.
Medical health as a whole.
Okay.
Ministry of Health, Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Justice.
Okay.
Ministry of Education, because we need some of them to go back to school, and wealth creation.
That's also part of women empowerment and all that.
Yes.
Okay, so apart from the people that maybe their family brings, especially maybe the drug dependent or maybe people with mental issues, how about can someone turn himself in? Do you have
the of turning in this part of the world is not it's not on the high side like that. So what is not ramp up. So what we see most of the time is family making
intervention,
making an application to the ministry.
Okay, let's take this call. Hello. Yes, welcome.
Yes. This is Mr. Yusuf.
Okay, Mr. Yusuf.
Calling back. Yes.
Welcome, Mr. Yusuf.
I want to ask: is the department saddled with the responsibility of going out there to pick destitute, to pick addicts on the road, on the street? Because I can see that, or maybe they are. I mean, we are expected to bring them to them, because I can see that on our bridges, pedestrian bridges, we see a lot of them. So are they saddled with the responsibility of going out and picking them, or so that's where I'm not clear. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf. Yes. Thank you very much. I was trying to avoid that question because
actually,
I know it's actually quite overwhelming.
It is. We do that. We have a unit, rescue units that does that. They go out to pick up destitute, mentally challenged, people from the streets of Lagos State.
So can people actually reach out and report? Because we have hotspots.
Yes, we have lines. We have lines.
We have dedicated lines that you can call when you have such situations.
Okay,
and we even have some public that have commended the department openly for some of these rescue operations.
Let's have those hotlines.
Outside the 112 and 767.
Okay, yes.
They'll get across to us. We have a 080 97
08097, okay.
22
97
66
66, okay.
96. Okay. Also
that's 080 97 22 66 96. Okay.
And also 081 867 01 516.
Yes. Okay, but caveat, it has to be within Lagos, right?
Yes.
So, Mr. Yusuf, I hope. All right, so.
The question has been taken care of. And I also want to inform Mr. Yusuf.
Yes.
Our rescue unit go out on a daily basis.
On a daily, okay.
Yes. The problem
how about
the
in instances where the person is, resisting or being violent?
There are tactical ways of getting them.
Okay.
So you see, a lot of people will see that there are a lot of destitute on the street, but do you know one thing? Because Lagos is working.
Yes.
People influx into Lagos every day is on the
very high side.
Is on the high side. So the more we rescue on the street, the more that comes in on a daily basis.
It's quite overwhelming. So interesting.
I wish other states work the way Lagos State is working.
So how?
And because Lagos is safe haven,
yes,
everybody wants to come to Lagos.
So how can we support? We the listeners, how can people support and get involved with your department's efforts?
Okay.
Apart from calling, of course.
Okay. With the issue of like you said, drug abuse.
Yes.
Yes. They, like my colleague has said, the family has to be able to support the individual.
Okay.
Yes, the individual on the journey, either in or out of substance abuse. Then also, within about the influx of people.
Yes.
Outside the destitutes and the mental challenge, we have to have the beggars. Yes, they come in on a daily basis. So there has to be like a behavioral modification, a change. There has to be a change mindset, because if there is no giver, there won't be a taker.
Yes.
Yes. So if people desist from giving them, they won't be out there begging for alms.
Yes.
And if peradventure they really want to give alms, they have a home. We have a home. They're like destitute camp in Okobaba.
Okay.
And also if they want to give to the vulnerables as well.
And is that also run by
the yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And we also have 15 orphan centers owned by Lagos State. Owned by Lagos State, where they can give to the vulnerables in the society. And also we have about 100 private homes. Yes.
Approved by Lagos State.
Approved by Lagos State, whereby they can go there and give willingly, without encouraging street begging.
We appreciate the fact that our culture is culture of giving, and the two main religion encourage giving. But in terms of giving, we must change our mindset. Because most of these beggars we see on the road, they are security risk to us.
And it's even business for them.
And it's business for them.
So giving them, because we actually trying to, be pious and all that, but we're actually, it's counterproductive.
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's a way of life for them. It's a way of life for them.
And because the official hold up
on the highway.
On the highway. Yes. Most of these people we are seeing all this on the street of Lagos, they hide what's it called, firearms. For the armed robberies.
Yes.
Most times we caught them with all those.
Yes.
Wow.
That's why we work with the police. Most of the time when we go out for our rescue operation.
You have
we have
security agents.
Along with task force.
Because also your protection is also
we have police,
a concern.
We have police backup, yes.
Wow, this is really interesting. Quite an interesting discourse. Okay, so dear listeners, I hope you learned a lot. I'm sure, of course, with the numbers we have given, you would definitely pitch in and do your own bit. Yes, the team here has also said that we should discourage, as much as we are pious people and want to do good and get blessings from the Almighty, giving alms and all that. We have dedicated places where you can go and do that.
Yes.
Instead of just doing it on the street. But some people say I don't give money, I give food to them. I package food.
Same thing.
Same thing. They can take the food.
They can take it there.
To the centers. Yes.
Okay. So okay. It's been a great one. I'm looking forward to having maybe a repeat episode of your department on the show, so we can talk some more. I definitely am looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Mrs. Mobolaji Oke, the Director, HOD Rehabilitation Department, Mr. Otunla Tunji, Deputy Director,
Thank you, sir.
Rehab Department. Thank you so much. And Mr. Kotun Toyin, quite an interesting discourse, Deputy Director, Rehabilitation Department. I am definitely sure sure the listeners have learned a lot, and they will definitely do well to act upon this, and know that Lagos, through the Ministry of Youth and Social Development, is working.
We're working.
As we conclude today's episode of Mysd Spectrum, dear listener, we thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery. Yes, discovery. You've learned a lot, and inspiration. Remember, the future of our society is shaped not just by one person, but our collective efforts when the individuals like you and me, who, of course, are passionate about making a positive impact. Keep shining, keep inspiring, and together, let's create a brighter future for all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Same time next week, the show will make a return. My name is Akan Usen.